Hello everybody, welcome to my first draft video of the new format. And there's some sweet new art on all the draft stuff. There's a lot of upgrades visually in this set 3 update, so I've been really looking forward to it. It's been awesome. This is going to be a really interesting draft format. I've played it a couple times already. It seems like you need to value a little bit of the allies, like your actual creature types, so sentinels, yetis, things like that. But I'm not entirely certain how much to weight it that way yet. I've heard some people say that it's pretty free. I've alternately had a lot of trouble getting certain allies, so I think that it really depends. I'm going to have to spend a lot of time thinking about it, but we're going to go over a couple cards here. I would love to just take this Crest of Vengeance. I'm almost tempted to grab it because the crests are going to be very important in actual ranked play, and this is a premium, so it's going to be worth a lot for me to get this. It's basically a legendary, and it's one that I'm going to want to craft at some point, but that's okay. I want to make sure that I do really good drafts rather than just pick cards that are expensive in Shiftstone, so let's pick a good card. The Insistent Automaton. Could be cool if you have things that have summon abilities. Serene Excavator I've found to be pretty good. I've definitely liked that. Like a 2/3 flyer is pretty solid for 3. And it's not that hard to get a Sentinel ally in those colors. You can play a weapon on it, exhaust something, not particularly interesting. This is just a very expensive creature. You can ally with it, like, I mean, you can, or bond with it rather, but it's not amazing. Basically what bond means is if you have, say, for example, Insistent Automaton, you can exhaust it to have its strength, so 4, apply to the cost, the power cost of Scourstone Sentinel, so it'll cost 5 instead. Not super excited about that. All of the Waystones are pretty solid. This one's one of the worst ones because it's just got armor, at least for limited. Sinister Opportunist is not super interesting. It only matters if they're cursed. Finback Commonat. May discard a card to make Nightfall. I've actually really liked a lot of these ones. There's a cycle of summon, discard a card, get an effect, and they've been pretty solid. I'm thinking that I want either the Finback Commonat, or I'm going to want like Serene Excavator, Insistent Automaton. I'm not sure how many things have summon abilities that I want to keep rebuying them. I'm gonna go with. This is tough. I do really like Finback. Just big. Nice big critter. I'm gonna take the Serene Excavator actually. Out of all of them, I think that it's just the easiest to go off with. Explorer Dinosaur, which is a kind of neat archetype. The Explorer or Dinosaur in your hand at the least health gets +1/+1 when you play it. Not bad. We have, this is I think an Explorer, yeah, Explorer Mystic. We have one here when we gain any kind of life, then we get a 4/4 Restless Radiant. Only happens once, unfortunately. Otherwise, this card would be insane. Unseen Agent is not terrible. We really want to try and get like a couple Sentinels if we can. I want to try and do a little bit of the actual ally type drafting here and see where we get. Final Shot Rider actually seems pretty cool. Or First Shot Rider, sorry. Give a unit +4/+2. I do think Novice Herd Rider is actually pretty good. It's just really large, and it makes something else pretty big, too. It's not a bad thing to have. It's a little expensive, but it is just massive. 6/8 is huge. I'm going to grab the Novice. Let's see if maybe we do some Dinos Explorers. We have a Bellowing Thunderfoot, which you can bond with another dinosaur, and when you bond and play it, it stuns a unit, which is pretty solid. This is a Sentinel, so charge bond, not the worst. 5/3 is really unfortunate stats, though. I really hate 3 toughness stats because it's just way too easy to kill. There's the Valkyrie Arcanist, Entomb, create and draw a 3/3 Gemblade. Let's just get rid of this. It's explaining bond to us. I'm going to take the Bellowing Thunderfoot. Gonna need a lot of cheaper dinos. Hissing Spiketail might work. Fishing Dinoc is actually pretty cool. It's a 6/6 for 5. So just kind of like a Towering Terrazon, but a lot bigger if you have a dinosaur. Or a lot like it's like a Towering Terrazon, but if you have it and if you have a dinosaur, then it has a little bit of extra toughness. But obviously a lot worse if you don't. Deepwood Ranger. Summon Deepwood Ranger gets +2/+2 for each of your units with 2 or more battle skills. Pretty unlikely to do that in limited. Voracious Fosora is... It's an interesting card. It's really good for Bond, but it is reckless, right? So yeah, you can power out some cheap stuff with Bond, but it's pretty bad in other situations. I think that it's between the Fishing Dinoc and the Hissing Spiketail, and I think I want the Fishing Dinoc. I know that it's another expensive dinosaur, but it's just so good. We have another Serene Excavator. There's a Surveying Mantisaur, which is 8 power for a 3/4 Flying Overwhelm. It's got a lot of abilities, but the stats aren't amazing, and it's super expensive, so I'm just going to take the Hissing Spiketail. Eileen's Intervention. This one's got a lot of flexibility. You can deal 3 damage to unit with flying, negate a 3-cost enemy spell, or you can pump your Yetis, something that's not really going to happen in limited, but the first two are certainly relevant. Endurance Explorer ally, draw a card. That's actually not bad, but I'm going to take this Voracious Fosora, because it definitely seems like we're going more dinosaurs than we are sentinels. I'm sure that we'll pick up some sentinels just accidentally. Disjunction, honestly, not the worst thing. There's a few attachments that you might want to have, and making sure that you have an answer to a couple of really powerful enemy attachments that they can get themselves isn't the worst thing. It's unlikely that you'll have a good target to kill, but if you have some things to draw back out of your own void, then it can be pretty decent. I think we just take the Yeti Wind Flyer. Wandering Forge, +1/+1 Overwhelm. Well, you have a Relic. 5/3 Overwhelm for 4. It's fine. Reinvigorate. Ready one of your units and give it Endurance. That's actually pretty sweet. It's actually really sweet. I think I still take the Yeti Wind Flyer because it's just in our colors. Another Yeti Wind Flyer. Sure. This card's really good if you can actually ally it. It's just getting the ally is probably the hard part. Surveying Mantisaur. Do I actually care about that? We don't want Caltrops. Caltrops is awful. Cutbrush Cartographer could be okay. I guess I'll just take it. It is an explorer, so it's not a bad archetype for us to have. Nightfall, give 2 of your units +1/+1. It's a permanent +1/+1, so that's kind of nice. And I don't think I want the Wild Rider, so I'm going to take the Last Light. Jump Kick is surprisingly awesome. I like Jump Kick a lot. Nice cheap trick. Bloodletter. Talon Dive. Viper's Bite. There's an Excavation Assistant. It's funny that this isn't a Sentinel. It's just an engine. But I guess they didn't want a really, really cheap Sentinel ally. I don't know. Wow, this is a pack that's pretty terrible for us. Mortar is really good. I could take a Skycrag banner and possibly splash something like Mortar later, but I don't want to splash Mortar unless I have the banner. I guess I'll take Mortar. I mean, Bloodletter is easily the best, but it's 2 colors that we're not, so I think that we're going to take Mortar. Hope that Skycrag banner, something else similar, comes along our way later. And we'll just grab that for now on the off chance that I can splash it. Shepherd's Horn is interesting, but we're not going to have enough Overwhelm to realistically use that. I don't think we have any yet. Oh, we have Spiketail. Spiketail is Overwhelm, but yeah, not super exciting. Dragon Breath is pretty cool. I like Dragon Breath a lot. Cobalt Ring would be okay, but Dragon Breath definitely seems like the direction I want to go. A Kuru banner is possible fixing. Stranger is the same thing, but there is a Striped Arachnodon, which is just a really solid stats dinosaur, and we need earlier dinosaurs to be able to bond out like the Bellowing Thunderfoot here, so boom. Easy peasy. And looks like I got my kitty coming here to say hello. Hi, bud. What else do we have here? Belching Behemoth, just a little too expensive. Xenon Stranger can be okay, and I actually really like splashing a little bit of Shadow if I can. There's a lot of removal, especially in Pack 1, the next pack that's coming up. That'll be, like, Set 1, Pack 3. It's so weird to say that. The Empty Throne pack, base set pack. There's a lot of removal in Shadow, so it's not a bad idea to splash a little bit of Feln slash Xenon. Skywalk Instructor. Just an Unseen. I think I'm going to take this. We wouldn't mind some early game either. Crafty Yeti is surprisingly useful. I really like Crafty Yeti as a way to just get a little bit of card selection. And then we do have the double Yeti Wind Flyer, which I might play if we can get enough Yetis. It makes a lot of sense. Camp Physician, Cobalt Ring, Ice Bow. Nothing crazy here. Purify is easily the best. We have Mortar and Purify. It looks like we should probably be trying to do that. Xenon Banner, which is something that I don't really care about. But Amaran Archaeologist can actually fix for Mortar and Purify. As much as I said I wanted to splash a little Shadow, it's looking more and more like we're actually going to splash a little Fire. And Amaran Archaeologist helps us better with that than the Xenon obviously does. Sandstorm can be pretty good as a trick. I've been got by it a few times. Hunter's Harpoon. Ooh, that's a really good card and another good reason to be splashing Fire. Another Xenon Stranger, which it's not great help for fixing our mana, but it does still get time, so not the worst idea. Plus, again, I wouldn't mind some more 2s. We don't have a lot of them right now. And then we're just taking a couple cards here at the end that don't matter at all. Now, what do I want? Cabal Countess is pretty cool, but really out of our colors at this point. Double Shadow is going to be tough, especially early. It's an aggressive card. Suffocate is good. Stonescar Stranger, it's possible to help us if we want to go 4-color, which I don't really. Windshaper is kind of interesting. I have Serene Excavator and the Double Yeti Wind Flyer. Anything else with flying? Teleport Windshaper are the cards that are in our colors that are actually somewhat reasonable. Suffocate is possible, but it's just so awkward with trying to get 4th color here. I think I'm going to take the Windshaper. It's got the most upside too. Golant's Honor Guard. Oh, wow. If you've played set 1 or 2 at all, Golant's Honor Guard is almost unbeatable. You have to have like a Death Strike immediately to kill it, because that card is just huge, and Lifesteal swings the game to an extent that it's almost impossible to recover. That being said, it's way out of our colors, and I can't currently play it. So maybe just take Stonescar Banner or Alchemical Blast. Initiate of the Sands can be okay. Just try and ramp up a little bit. Yikes. I think I'm actually just going to take Initiate. That sucks, but what do you do? Ooh, Hatchery Hunter is a bomb, though. This card's very good. So transform all your cards in your hand to 3/3 Sky Serpents with Flying. The problem is later in the game you generally don't have too many cards left in your hand, but you can certainly sandbag a couple of power cards and get some real good use out of that. We now have a Nesting Avasar, which is pretty solid. It's another dinosaur too, which is something that we need to remember. Cobalt Acolyte is really good though. I've been absolutely stunned with how awesome this is. And there's a Lightning Strike. Man, we've got Nesting Avasar, Acolyte, and Strike. Acolyte's so good when you have big dinosaurs, like fly a 6/6 and it just becomes insane, but just a lot of good choices here. We are going to get another pack after this, full of dinosaurs and explorers that want to be allied with more dinosaurs and more explorers. So, does kind of make me want to take the Avasar, but I really don't know. This is that problem that I talked about right at the start, where I don't know how much to weight it towards actually having the right creature types. So, man, that's tough. Strike versus Avasar. I think that I leave out the Acolyte as much as I love it. I don't have a lot of removal yet. I have Purify, Mortar, Dragon Breath. This is not a color combination that has a lot of removal, which is why I was talking about adding a little bit of Shadow. God, it's so tough. I'm going to take the Avasar and see what happens. I'm going to waste my gold so that you don't have to. Let's see how good it is to just grab a bunch of explorers and dinosaurs and hope that they come together in the third pack. I like that Tundra Explorer is, well, an explorer. It's kind of useful. Second Sight, cool with Nesting Avasar if we actually had anything with Echo, but we don't. Jiral's Frostkin is okay. Not super excited about it. I really just want the early game. I think I'm still just going to take Second Sight, even though I don't love the card. Vault of the Praxis. Pretty unlikely to go off with that in Limited here, but yeah, sure, I'll take it. I mean, it's a rare. There was nothing else that I cared about. Elysian Trailblazer, another Explorer, and it makes all of our spells a little more useful. Getting a second Dragon Breath or Purify would be really nice. I think we take the Trailblazer. Dormant Sentinel's kind of okay. We do want a Sentinel or two for the Serene Excavator, but I don't think that's the only reason to take. Since that's the only reason to take it, I don't think we need to. Dormant Sentinel, sweet. And Wild Cloud Snake, another flyer and something that gets better the more flyers that we have, which actually seems pretty good for us since we did grab, if you'll remember, the Wind Shaper. Oh, sweet, we opened Caltrops, a card that's super useless. Give something flying and it scouts. That's fine, I guess. This is a really bad pack. Gain 3 life, put one of your explorers or sentinels into your hand. You'll notice it doesn't say from your void or anything, it's just from play, or silence an attacking enemy unit. Yeah. These are all pretty terrible for us. I guess Snow Fort is possible. It's not exciting. Extinguish is pretty solid. I could just take Extinguish. Possibly splash it. There's really nothing else there. Accelerated Impact. Your units get +1/+1 and deal their toughness in battle this turn instead of their power. Seasoned Spelunker gets +1/+1 when you have a relic, and ultimates to get a 5/5. Well, relic. Ultimate for 5 to get a relic. Serene Excavator again, but I don't really have Sentinels. Infused Strike. It's a pretty sweet one. Kind of like the Seasoned Spelunker. I don't have a lot of 3s. I wouldn't mind having a way to get a Power Stone, because we've got some expensive cards. Accelerated Impact is interesting. Really not sure what to do with that. It's kind of like, it just seems like a Synchronized Strike, at least for us. I mean, if you'd built your deck around it, maybe you could do something crazy. Get a bunch of the 0/7s, but I mean, you can't really attack with them, so... oh, it's not even Fast Spell, though. Oh, yeah, definitely this. Okay, yeah, that's not happening. Amber Waystone to gain us life versus Fishing Dinoc. I'm going to take the big dino. Seems better. Voracious Fossora again. I only have one thing that bonds with it, so it's not amazing. But sure. Because it does have Reckless. Like, it's just going to trade down a lot. Ooh, there we go. Finally something that cares about dinosaurs again. So Stampede Driver I've really liked. I think that it's good even if you don't have dinosaurs, and if you do have dinosaurs, this card's pretty awesome. +2/+2 and Overwhelm is huge. What you do is, when you summon it, you can discard a card, and it gives a unit +1/+1 in Overwhelm. If it's a dinosaur, then they get an extra +1/+1. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's huge. Discarding a card is not that big of a deal at 5. It's pretty much always just a power. Just keep a couple extra power. You don't really need much at 5 at that point, and it is crazy good to put up, like, I mean, think of, say, Bellowing Thunderfoot. Like, 4/5 is okay stats. It's certainly nothing small, but it's not huge. But 6/7 Overwhelm? That's massive. That's really hard to deal with. So, like Stampede Driver a lot. Another Yeti Wind Flyer. What is this? Amaran Shoveler. Pay 2 and exhaust. Look at the top of your deck. If it's a Sentinel or Relic, draw it. Otherwise, discard it. That's really cool. That seems like it'd be absolutely amazing if you get the right deck around it. But also very hard to get the right deck around it. I'm just gonna jam another Yeti Wind Flyer. Strategize and a Twilight Hermit. When you start your turn at night, transform Twilight Hermit into a 5/3 Twilight Prowler with Reckless. Ooh, wow, that's kind of cool. I'm gonna strategize though. Lost in the Mist is not super interesting. Strategize is pretty decent card draw. Better than the second sight that we already have. Take the Lost in the Mist. Take another Last Light Infusion. Winter's Grasp does not seem super interesting. We don't have enough ways to get Nightfall. Basically, it'd stun it for like turn and a half or something, but I like the Last Light Infusion a little more. Got a last pick Stampede Driver. Don't think I didn't notice that. Don't think I didn't notice we got a last pick Stampede Driver, because that's really good for us. Alright, cut that. Do not need Purify. I think we cut Levitate or Jump Kick. Maybe both. Definitely cut the Second Sight. Definitely cut the Twilight Hermit. Not sure about the Wild Cloud Snake. We have 3 Yeti Wind Flyers and the Serene Excavator, so it's certainly possible that we just are fine playing the Cloud Snake. We did have double Xenon Stranger. It's possible that we want that extinguished, but yeah, it's super dicey. 36 playables. Yeah, we're going to need to cut that down just a bit. Crafty Yeti actually makes a lot of sense with the Wind Flyers. Could probably cut Serene Excavator. I have no other Sentinels. It's nice to have another flyer. It does work with the Wild Cloud Snake. It does work with the Wind Shaper. Works really well with even things like Hunter's Harpoon, just because having evasion on the creature where you're putting the harpoon is really nice, but it's so weak other than that. Definitely cutting Lost in the Mist. I think I can cut the Initiate. I'm going to cut the Serene Excavator. Definitely going to cut Vault of the Praxis. Cut the Amaran Archaeologist. We're 3 colors, but I don't think we have that bad of mana. We've only got 3 things on the splash. Fishing Dinoc is good. Got a lot of top end. I could cut this Dormant Sentinel, especially now that I got rid of the flyer for 3. Novice Herd Rider. Do I keep you? I mean, it is with the Fate thing. You don't actually have to summon it to get the bonus. It's not a huge bonus, but it's kind of nice. Pretty unlikely that I don't have an Explorer Dinosaur. I mean, it'll pump itself, but that seems mostly unnecessary. It's better if you can pump something else. Also, actually, with this, it does really help with Nesting Avasar to get the Fate off more than once, and we can make it cheaper that way. I actually really like the Herd Rider. Could almost Second Sight with it, but it's not worth it for just 1 Fate card. As tempting as that is, because I do really, really like Second Sight and Echo/Fate shenanigans. I wish there were more Echo cards still, because that was my favorite thing to do in Eternal Draft when it first came out, but yeah, that ship has long sailed. Set 1 is a while back. What do I cut? I feel like a little bit of top end is extraneous. We've got too much. Could cut 1 Voracious Fossora. I really don't love the Reckless part of it. We have a lot of 4s, but all of our 4s are pretty solid. Very solid, even. Maybe Trailblazer. Getting Strategized, Dragon Breath, Purify. Mortar doubled. All of those are really good. Last Light Infusion could maybe go. I guess I can just do that. 17. Cut both Last Lights. I really like Last Light Infusion, honestly. This is tough. As much as I like the Stampede Driver, maybe cutting one of them, just because all of our top end is where I think that we can cut things out. So I want to cut one more thing. Could just be Xenon Stranger. I've got a fair number of 2s. All right, I'm going to cut one Xenon Stranger. We still have 20 units. That's a lot. Add in our power. It wants 4 Fire Sigils. I think we're going to go down on that just a little bit. Well, actually, wait. 6, but we also have 2 Xenon Strangers. I almost forgot about that. With the double Xenon Stranger, maybe it's okay. The Striped Arachnodon needing double time is the issue. I think that's good, actually. I'm going to leave it. All right. Let's play some games. I'm thinking... Man, I haven't played a lot of Draft of this yet, and it's a really new set. I'm going to go with 4 wins on average for this deck. Let's get there.